Hey boys and girls, it's Brad here at MyWay. Hey, we're out in the shop today. I'm gonna plug away a little bit at this hot rod sitting behind me. I've been procrastinating forever on doing the steering mechanism for it. I've actually got two hot rods sitting back there, but we're working on the coupe here. That's the project. So I'm gonna flick around, show you what I bought for some steering parts for this thing, and explain what I'm gonna do, and try and get you a little bit of few shots during. Okay, hang on. Okay, here we go, guys. So I flipped you around, and I'm gonna show you the parts that I picked up recently, and what I'm gonna be up to with this. This is my 26 Model T coupe, and I started this project back in around 2019. Fabbed up a chassis and all that for it, and I've got the body mounted on there. I've got my brakes and a few things going on. I need to buy some calipers and etc. for it. I've got the brake master mounted down here in the floor, and I need brake lines and calipers and etc. for my Ford 9-inch here that I've got mounted, which was out of a Lincoln Versailles. So that was the narrowest version that I could find to fit the hot rod. I believe it was 57 between the backing plates. Fairly narrow. Anyway, here we are on the floor here. So what we have in the car is a Vega box that I purchased, and obviously the bracket and everything. So that's mounted, and the input shaft for that sticks out down here just below the engine mount. And so from there, I've got a Vega box coupler by 3/4 double D, and then we're going with the 3/4 double D by 3/4 double D single coupler. And then this is all got to be adjusted for length and everything. But so then we'll have our Heim mounted on the side of the frame and around this location here beside the oil filter, and we're going to be up at about a height up here, and then we're going to take off up toward the steering. So we've got our Heim to support the joint and everything, and then our shaft, and then up here where the column comes out, we will have a double joint to correct two angles, the angle down to the other shaft, and also move it slightly over toward the frame. So I've taken an old engine mount for a flathead. Actually, I cut the bottom of that off, modified that a little, drilled an extra larger hole in the top for my Heim, and that's going to get mounted down in here, and that'll sit there with the shaft coming up from the box. That'll support that nice and solid, and then we'll do the next. Actually, that may move back this direction a little ways, and then we'll do the next joint coming down to that. Anyway, that'll be where we're at with that. Okay, so I'm going to proceed, and I've already done some cleanup on the back of the mount and everything here, so I can get a couple spots on that. I'm going to spot it in place here wherever I decide that's going to go. And so further on, we've got the original 3/4 round shaft and the original spokes for the wheel anyway. That's threaded and tapered with a keyway in it to hold that wheel. So my plan is to use a bearing up top. I'll build a bearing support with a lock collar up there. which hopefully I'll be able to house in nicely so that it looks pretty. And then this length is going to have to be adjusted, and I think what I'll do is I'm going to stick with the double D style joints just for the safety of them, I guess, so they can't spin or anything like that. And I'll just machine the bottom of this once I adjust the length and everything. I'll machine the bottom of that to fit here with the double D joint, which is a double, like I was saying, so that'll give me the angle down and the angle over and get us lined up for the other shafting around here. Anyway, I think that's how it's going to work. Okay, so for now, we'll just put that on pause, and I'm going to line up my welder and everything, which I got sitting here ready to go. Just need to get that on, and we'll carry on from there. Hang tough, everyone. Okay, guys, so I've got the bracket with the heim on it clamped in place here. As you can see, so I'm down onto my Vega box with the coupler down there, up through the heim, and we're on to our first of the two joints. And then the second joint is going to go in essentially here, right up at the, I don't know if you guys can see that. Anyway, that's how that's going to go. Hey everybody, it's Brad. Hey, we're back in the shop tonight for a little bit, finishing mocking up the steering for the Model T hot rod. Okay, so I'm going to turn around and show you my final mock-up. I do need a couple of new parts there to match up so everything looks great, but I think this is going to work. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so we're in the hot rod shop. The stuff going on around, and so tonight, like I said, I came back out, and I don't know, when we last were looking at this all, I was had myself a double joint up here. Well, without another support in between, that just doesn't work, and I'm not sure why I wanted the double joint. Initially, I guess I bought it thinking that I was going to do both the offset toward the frame and the angle transition with one joint. But when I tried to get that accomplished, then my lower shaft here from the box was running into problems up here. I just couldn't make that work. So as I was saying, you know, I used an old motor mount for flathead here, modified that slightly, mounted a heim down there to run that shaft through for support there, and the column that's factory mounted, we're going to try and run with the factory column in it and see how that is all going to work out. So I this evening here, beside getting my last joint straightened out and everything there, cut myself a new piece of shaft. I have mocked up the column here roughly, so I do want to have a bearing. This is the original column, as you can see, and you know, it's odd. They're a little odd. They had, I guess, the throttle on one side and the timing on the other side, type of a deal. Anyway, so I don't know, somehow here I want to build a housing for that bearing and have a decent cover for it and everything like that, so that it looks decent. I'm probably gonna do a wooden wheel there. I may do steel. Anyway, so I don't know if this is a one-hand operation or not, but the steering will work nicely here, as you can see. kind of a one-hand operation. It is manual steering, but I'm spinning that with one hand, and things are not necessarily mounted up 100% yet. So, you know, my column and stuff's moving around and things are happening there a little bit, but overall, I think that's going to do the trick. So a little, you know, a little more modifications here. I'm not sure how that wheel is gonna sit for, you know, when I'm in the car. I'm not sure how that's gonna be there for comfort or anything like that. I don't think they ever worried about that in the old days. Okay, so anyways, that's pretty much it. Final mock-up of the steering. We got the Vega box down below. We got the adapter for that to the double D shaft. We got double D shaft ran through the Heim support, and we got two single joints, which they say to not run at more than 37 or so degrees. 35, 37. I think we're okay there. That looks like probably only 20 to me. So everything seems smooth, so I'm happy with that. Anyway, for tonight, I think we're gonna be over and out with that. Go have some dinner and those kind of things, regular home life stuff.